Good Shabbos, PJC, Shabbat Shalom. I hope everyone is well. This week we read Parshas Emor that describes for us so many aspects of Kedusha, the Chagim. There's a fascinating story at the end of the Parsha, well worth examining its context and why the Torah chooses to include that story in Vayikra. But it's really the opening of the Parsha that I want to focus on for a brief moment. Why does the Torah open this week's Parsha with the word Vayomer? Vayomer is it's a soft language. Anytime the halachot are generally introduced, it's a language of Vayedaber. It's a language of speaking in a harsh and uncompromising terms, right? These are the halachos that we keep, and they're unchanging. We're not supposed to compromise our values. These are our values. Vayomer is a softer language, it's a gentler language. I wonder if part of the reason why Vayomer is used is because the context through which the teaching is taking place, the subject of the teaching is important in two ways. Way number one, we're talking about Kohanim and how they handle their grief. Right? The Kohanim are restricted to only attending the funerals of immediate families, and the Kohen Gadol is not allowed to attend anyone's funeral. And when you talk about grief with someone who has to understand that halacha in that moment restrains their ability to grieve in a way they would want to, you have to be gentle, you have to be thoughtful, you have to be vayomer. You have to talk to them in an empathic, gentle kind of way. Add to that the second piece of vayomer, the second role of the Kohanim, to be the educators, inspirers of the Jewish people, to live in the sanctuary and to model and teach and educate the Jewish people what it means to have a consistent, close relationship with the Almighty. The role of educator requires the Vayomer disposition, a gentler, encouraging disposition. You cannot be uncompromising when you're a teacher, when you're an educator, when you're a parent. So often we feel we have we've reached the end of the line. So often we are turned off, we are upset, we are agitated by the attitudes of our kids, of the young of our community. At times, we want to have a Vayedaber response. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? The Torah insists through the Kohanim that whenever we're in the place, wherever we're in the space of being the educator role model, we need to approach it with the sensitivity, with the softness, with the gentleness of Vayomer, thinking very carefully about how we communicate, who we're communicating, and what we're saying. Vayomer, say to the Kohanim that we're sensitive about their grief and we are impassioned about their role as thoughtful, gentle educators, gentle giants of the Jewish people. Wishing everyone a Shabbat Shalom, the most wonderful and spiritual of Shabbatot.